All right, it is Wednesday, January 6th, 6:30. This Fans View Live. We got John, Carl, Lauren, Anthony, and myself. Happy Wednesday. Happy 2021. Hope everybody had a good New Year, and we're off and running. John, what do you got?
Well, we got 45 Doug McGraw. He ran away with the number 45. Stole the hearts of Philadelphia and took the win over Tom Gibson and Vinny Prospero. Tonight's game, we got a little bit of an interesting matchup tonight. We got a player and a coach all combined into one. With the Phillies, Dallas Green. He played with the Phillies from 60 to 64, managed from 79 to 81. He was the winning manager for the 80 World Series champions, part of the Wall of Famer, and Phillies' favorite. Brought us our first championship. We got for the Eagles, Herm Edwards. He played from 77 to 85, part of the 1980 NFC champion team. Was the original Miracle of the Meadowlands Part 1. Picking up the scoop there off of the Giants there and taking us into the playoffs. For the Flyers, we have Josh Gratton, the 2005 Calder Cup champion. You don't remember the 22 games he's played, Carl? the 1 goal and 2 assists, the left winger, number 46? No? And that was over two years. And for the 70s,
I remember the Sixer who wore what number?
46. There is none.
I was going to go Sixers this week too. Damn it!
Yeah, this is the week for the Sixers, but they don't have one.
That's our Sixer. First, right? That's our first.
We may have had one other Sixer that didn't have a number, but there hasn't been many. We'll be getting more.
You scrounged somebody up.
I may.
I'm sure you did.
I may have, but yeah,
I don't remember anybody not having a number till now.
Yeah, it may not have. I know we've been having. It's going to be happening with the Sixers a lot coming up. And for the outsider, we have the Andy Pettitte. A 3-time All-Star, 5-time World Series champion with the Yankees, a 2001 ALCS MVP, was the wins leader in 1996. His numbers retired as well by the Yankees. And he also has that little steroid issue, that may have a PD issue that
he's not the only one.
May or may not have been happening at that time. But he's only doing that to get back onto the field faster. It wasn't any other reasons. So, Mary, who do you have?
So this is the one and only time you will ever hear me say this. I'm going with Dallas. So
I get that. I'm on to that.
It wasn't that difficult, but I'm glad you got it, Carl.
Yep. So, all right, Lauren.
I'm also going to go with Dallas.
There you go. Anthony.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. I loved Andy Pettitte growing up. That's the first number I think of when I think of 46. But for Philadelphia, it's definitely Dallas Green.
Right. Carl.
Has anybody read the book, The Mouth That Roared?
I have not.
That's the book that Dallas wrote.
Right,
really?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, he's got some classic baseball stories, and so I'm going Dallas Green.
Absolutely. Well, we're making a clean sweep there.
Dad, have you read it?
No. I haven't read a book since 6th grade.
Yep, exactly. I think I own the book. I just haven't read it.
Right. Yeah.
But John Amazon for $14.
She
might as well be on the show.
Yeah. Might as well.
No, Dallas Green. He was Phillies, Phillies all the way. Coaching. He was always down there in spring training. I'm sure you ran into him a lot there, Carl, when he was down there. And
I got a quick Dallas Green story, and I knew nothing about this till after the fact. But apparently, the Dallas Green family had a sale at his farm just on the other side in Maryland. Yeah, he owned a horse farm in Maryland, and apparently, he had a big sit. The wife, the family had a big sale and sold off a bunch of his stuff. I didn't know about it till after the fact.
Yeah, same here. I didn't either. But yeah.
It would have been pretty cool because you don't hear. I mean, usually you hear about the players and coaches and managers. Everything goes to auction nowadays. You know what I mean? But they gave the fans the opportunity. They opened it up like an estate sale, I guess.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was pretty. It was pretty cool.
I'm gonna kind of
my partner in
there
crime.
you go.
My partner in crime. She handed me the prop. So
There you go.
Good job, Mom.
So will you read it?
no. But it's autographed. Of course it is.
There you go.
I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah, we can.
Yep.
So I'll
had
give
it.
you a little. I'll give you a little story as to the type of person that he was. My cousin Vicky and her family lived down here in Bradenton, and she sends me a picture. Next to them in the booth, next to them was Dallas Green. Well, a friend of his who I knew through Ernie was trying to get a hold of him because they were friends. I said, "Do me a favor, give him a note and tell him that Anthony's trying to get a hold of him, and call him, give him his number." He ended up taking the number, calling him right there, and paying for their meal.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was I think that was a really, really neat story. So that's just the type of guy he was.
Yeah, he's one of them good old boys. I mean, we did a signing with him when the book first came out at the store.
Right.
And we kept track of all the books, and at the end of the signing, I gave him all the money and so on and so forth. And he was just jokingly, he's like, "Seriously, is all the money here? Do I need to count the books?" I'm like, "I don't know. 20 books in the case, $20, $400. This looks like easy math to me." But yeah, he was a classic. Good baseball guy. We lost a good
Oh
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So 46 has the sweep tonight.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Wow.
Yep. We've been agreeing a lot lately.
That's not good.
Well,
Yeah.
it'll change as the numbers go up, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, there'll be differences, but it's all good.
Although there could be some
47's got to be a dull number.
Well, Larry Anderson's not dull.
Yeah, who else you got?
Oh, I mean, we gotta say that one for the next show. But you got Larry Anderson.
Remember we talked about skipping a couple numbers
To get it done in the year. Yeah, we may have to. But
that's cool though. Dallas Green, good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy.
But things are changing though, because I think the shows or the game's getting a little popular with the players now in Philadelphia because Joe Farrow changed his number to 86 that no other Flyers ever won just so he could be on this list. This was nice.
I think I read that in your post the other day. Yeah, I think I read that.
Oh God.
Just, I mean, I don't know why else he would change it to 86 other than to get on this list. I mean, there's no competition. So.
God.
Good point.
So,
Good point.
John, what do you got for fantasy football? Give me an update.
I thought we might have been skipping over that since we didn't do so well this week.
No. Gotta take the good with the bad.
Oh, absolutely. No, the viewers.
Wait a sec. Time out. Is this the segment where John eats crow?
John will never eat crow.
I think John's eating crow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We got our butts kicked this week. And it was for the championship.
Wait, now it's wing.
Oh,
Now it's wing. What?
Yeah. We as the host, we ended up losing. Of course, we played fair. A couple of things changed, and the viewers ended up getting Jonathan Taylor, which was hopefully going to be one of our picks.
Here comes the crow factor.
Yeah, it's the excuse factor. but no, they took it this week and then took the championship from us as the host from last year, and 2021 or 2020 championship is going to the viewers. Congratulations to them. They won 240.30 to 161.1. So it was
Wow.
It was a little bit of a
That's an ass kicking.
that is. But thanks to Lauren and Anthony with their picks, we still ended up having the total points though. We scored more points than them, but we ended up so just we have a little bit of a bonus there for us. But we have a playoff schedule coming up, so we'll have our chance to get our revenge in the playoffs when we go there. So everybody gets a chance to get their votes in by Friday for the playoffs. You got 24. It's a little bit different. You're going to pick one time for the whole entire playoffs, and you got 24 players you're going to pick. 12 players from the.
Hard.
What's that?
That seems really hard.
You just got to have a little bit of strategy to it. You got 12 AFC players and 12 NFC players that you pick, and you let it ride out throughout the whole playoff season, and hope that you get the most points. And as the rounds go on, that the points get multiplied by a factor and increase. So you're never out of it as long as you're playing. This week we had Chris Short was the high scorer for the individual scores with a score of 258.5. We had 45 players, and Chris also stepped up big because him and Anthony Beeman were up neck and neck there going into the last week for the high scores for the individuals for the viewers, and Chris Short with the win. This week also got the win overall for the season. So that was nice to see, and he was happy about that coming from. I think he's in South Carolina, so he was happy to see that. So get your votes in, and next year we'll be battling back for the tiebreaker.
So this is free for all this week.
Well, yeah, we're each going to have our votes. Yep, as far as for us individually. Yeah, that's why I sent you the list.
I know.
Oh, that's what that was for.
Oh no, I just copied and pasted, so it was already proofread.
When's that due?
What was that? Friday.
When's that due? Oh,
Friday. So you can pick. There's no restrictions. You can pick whoever you want, as long as they're on the list.
As long as they're on the list. And as long once your player's team is eliminated, then obviously your player's eliminated. You can't add anybody else. So there's a little bit of strategy involved with it if you want to have players.
So this is your pick for the playoffs all the way up to February.
Correct.
I have no strategy. Is that us picking? Me?
Yes.
Him picking.
Well, I mean, that's up to you because, if you want to,
Combine it, you can.
You can combine it if you want.
We'll combine it. We can't.
Why?
We can't have them each doing it.
Yeah, I know.
We have no strategy.
Well, I mean, Anthony wants to show that, it was a lot of him this year.
It was. For sure.
There's been a lot of action already on the page as far as people voting and whatnot. And there's been a couple of compliments thrown out. At least I took them as compliments because they were like, kudos to whoever keeps track of all this. You know what I mean? And I've been saying that all year because
it is a lot of work.
There's only one guy that's put in all the time. And if he drank beer, I'd buy him one, but he doesn't drink beer. So I can buy him a case of water for, what's that?
It's clearly not me putting in any of this work. I don't even know what's going on with this thing most of the time.
But no, John, and being that it's playoff time, and we want to, I want to recognize John for all the hard work that he's put in, with all this. So, without him, there is no fantasy football.
Right.
I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
No,
That's
kudos
accurate.
to him.
Yep. All this guy.
So it's easy to supply the prizes and get everybody to play. We're up to almost 50 players, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Are you still in Facebook jail?
Yep.
Well, just for the polls, yes.
Okay.
I'm able to do everything else, which I don't, knock on wood. I don't understand why, but
All right. Maybe we need to get you a new name or something.
Yeah, I'm sure Lauren will appreciate that if we can do that. At least to get the polls up.
Just create another email address and another account and do it that way.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, of course, but no, it's fun. Like I said, we got.
Mhm.
We've already got 2 new players already so far out of the 14 or 15 that have voted so far, and and we'll end up having our 50 or so we did before. So yeah, it's been fun. We had 45, like I said last week, so it keeps growing. So it's fun.
Very cool.
John,
Very
use
cool.
this Fans View email account to create another Facebook account and do it that way.
But then I'll get us in trouble then.
You already have, so
All right,
what's it
we're gonna-
matter?
We have a prize to pick.
We do. We have we had Jonathan Taylor was the winner. I mean, it was the high scorer for the viewers, and 12 players picked them. And so they are listed on the website, the numbers. And I got it in the generator here. I'm trying to count. I gotta go all the way up to 17.
It don't take much.
Oh, it does. I got to get all the way up to 17. No, I lost my count. No.
God.
All right. Number 11, Tim Egan. Congratulations. You are the winner this week. Well, a newer player. I think he's played it like maybe 3 or 4 weeks now.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So,
All right. Well,
congratulations. He's been on.
all they have to do is send me $100 and I'll mail the prize.
There you go. There we go. So congratulations to Tim Egan. And then get our votes in for the playoffs.
All
For
right.
all of us. So yeah, we'll be good to go.
Very
All right.
cool. Very
So
cool.
that brings us to Sixers.
Which is why the background's here. The Red Hot Sixers.
I kind of figured that.
Mhm.
They look like they're on fire.
Yes, they are. 7-1.
Not bad.
So
Not bad.
first place overall. Best record in basketball.
So what's changed?
Yeah.
Well, they have, I don't know, they have much more energy than they did before. They play better defense than they did before. Joel drives it to the hoop, which he didn't do before. I mean,
Keep going.
I'm sure some of it's Doc Rivers, maybe just a change in a name and that stuff. But even when they're shooting bad, their defense does a heck of a job that keeps them in it, so they can score enough points to win. And
Exactly.
if you have that defense, you don't have to outscore everyone all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
they're fun to watch.
So
Yes.
do you
Yeah.
think he has a different approach as to how he deals with the players?
Yeah, I would imagine so, for them to react the way that they've been reacting. I mean, he's doing something different. I don't know what that is. They're younger guys for the most part, so maybe a combination of him and Dwight being, older than them. You want to kind of. Before it just felt like they were doing whatever they wanted to do, and Brett Brown was more of their friend. Whereas now it seems like Doc Rivers is a cool guy and all, but he's also not going to let you mess around. So
Right.
You nailed it right there.
It
Yeah,
seemed
but
like
Doc played the game. Doc was a pretty good player himself. You know what I mean? He's won a championship. You know, he's been with, the Boston Celtics. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of credibility to go around there. You know what I mean? It's they're just much better coached. I mean, does Doc Rivers ever sit down during the course of a game?
Yeah.
no, I mean you just see the energy there. I mean, when Dwight Howard's on the bench, he's probably the most animated guy that there is. You know, he's an older player. He's not what he was, but to have him on the bench, it's almost like an Andrew McCutcheon type guy to get the team all riled up and stuff like that. He's always making faces and in game, and I think having them, not that Brett Brown was a bad coach. I just think having Doc in there, helps everyone be on the same page a little bit better.
I think, like you said, Dwight Howard's going to be he's going to be a more important piece of that, than what we had thought he may have been when he first got here, taking the younger guys under his wing and showing them how to be, true professionals, taking them after practice or after the games even, and win or loss, and showing them different things, what they did right or wrong to improve, and working out with them. So
You got to keep in mind, obviously it's early, so a lot of things could happen.
of course,
Right now, everyone's playing well. It's hopefully that, that keeps happening. But, it'll be a good test when they play some of those West Coast teams to see how they can hang. Can they hang in there with the Lakers? Can they hang in there with the Bucks? Can they hang in there with some of those other teams that are up and coming? We'll see. But all you can do is play the games that are ahead of you right now. And so far, they've been doing good at that.
exactly, and keep stacking the wins right now. Because that's going to be key down the line.
Sure.
Well, I have a question, and this might be a tough question to answer. Do you think they're playing different because the coach is new, and as he settles in, things will change? Or do you think it's that he has a better control over the team than Brett Brown did?
That's a lot of questions. That's a lot of questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
I
didn't know you were a hoops guy. I mean, that just
I'm the guy with the
off.
questions.
Man.
That's a tough question to answer. I mean, I don't know what that answer is. I mean, in the years I've not seen Joel play with the intensity that he's had, which, there were times last year where you're like, get rid of Simmons or get rid of Embiid, get rid of one of them so you can kind of move on. But the way that they're both playing, I mean, now you're like, I don't want to get rid of either of these guys. The way that Simmons is getting into the open man and Joel's driving it down to the hoop. I mean, literally, there's not many people in the league that can stop him if he continues with that energy. It's just harnessing that energy and keeping it going, because we've seen he can easily get. Maybe it's mentally, maybe because he hasn't played his whole, majority of his life. So he kind of gets down when he's not doing well. So maybe it's the coaches and everyone's job to just keep that mentality up so that he keeps playing strong.
Don't you think it has to do with Dwight Howard, though?
Well, I'm sure they practice together. I'm sure they, play. I'm sure having another big guy there helps. It didn't really work out with Al Horford last year, and I think they were hoping for that to happen with him. But Dwight seems like a different guy than Al. Al seems like a quiet guy who keeps to himself, where Dwight's super outgoing and probably jokes with him, and they probably get along a little bit better. So, plus, Dwight Howard's Dwight Howard, so he's got a track record of success. So I think everything is just coming together now. Now, keep in mind, if they lose a couple games, which they will inevitably, or if someone gets hurt, which will happen at some point, it'll be interesting to see how they react to that. And if they can continue with the guys on the bench, helping out and that. But so far, so good. Everything looks really good. And who was the player of the week? Tobias?
Harris, yeah.
Yeah, people were calling for him to get traded. So, that's good for him for doing that. I mean, a lot of these games, he has the most points on the team when you look at the total. So, yeah, I mean.
So who do you think they're going to have the toughest time against?
I think they'll be pretty good in the East. I mean, I don't know who the biggest I don't know if John, I don't know what you guys think the biggest competition in the East is. Milwaukee technically the East or the West?
Yeah, they're the East. They're the one for right at the moment would be the top ones.
If you could beat them, let's pretend. Then you just got some of those West Coast. I mean, West Coast teams. I know it's changing a little bit, but over the years have always been a little bit better, a little bit better. When you watch the Golden State or the Lakers or any of those teams over the years, they've always been just a little bit better. But if it's the Sixers team you have right now, it looks like they can beat any team. We just got to hope that when they play a West Coast team that they can keep it up.
Well, and part of the thing. Oh, sorry, Lauren. But part of the thing with the West Coast is they, those guys are playing each other as well. So like they're battle tested when it does come to playoff time too. That they're having a tougher season. So
right.
So has the process finally arrived? Is this what we've waited for the last, I don't know, 7-8 years? Is this it? Is this the process now happening in front of us, finally unfolding?
I think it may be, because you're finally got the final pieces, as far as like Dwight Howard, drafting a kid like Maxey just playing really well. This year has helped a lot. And then getting a Green, Steph Curry as well. Is helping a lot. I think that's the biggest part of this team is Doc Rivers with his offense has the ball being moved around so much and the spacing on the floor that these guys are getting open shots. That Tobias Harris he had his best year with Doc Rivers. They're gonna everybody's gonna be doubling up on Embiid and Simmons. That everybody's gonna be open. So I mean, you can't double everybody on the court, and
some of these guys from the bench can drill a couple of these shots every now and then. The defense is going to know what to do because you're going to block Joel or Ben, and someone's going to be open. And then if those guys can make the shots, then it's going to be pretty hard to lose.
Exactly. No, I think that's a difference between this year and last year.
One interesting point the other night, Ben Simmons, the guy who couldn't shoot. We were ready to ship him out for a bag of chips. Just get him out of here, right? He has a triple double the other night, and I think the first question from the media was, well, what about Ben shooting? And Doc put it right then and there, he's like, I really don't care. You guys can stop asking that question, and that was the end of it. The guy has a triple double. You know what I mean? The Sixers won by 20, and they're still worrying about Ben shooting the ball. And I just think that Doc Rivers has brought that whole chemistry of a winning formula. The way he coaches guys. I mean, when's the last time you saw a Sixer rookie? I mean, he's already making an impact the first year, right? The first 8 games. I forget what he's averaging. I think he's averaging 13 or 15 minutes. When's the last time you saw that?
Right.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, now he is from Kentucky and, comes from a good program. You know what I mean? But the kid can ball. The kid can play.
That was the biggest part of it right there. You drafted a guy from a top team in college and not reached for guys,
right.
In that were in smaller colleges and be like, oh, well, this guy could do it. Well, he's done it and on a grander scheme. It's definitely definitely a plus.
It's a breath of fresh air because we need it in this city for sure.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We've been burying this team. How long was Brett Brown here? 8 years. You know what I mean? So we put up with a lot of losing. A lot of waiting for the process to be processed.
Right. No, it's true.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Good for the Sixers and management because they could have easily have seen it go downhill after that playoff loss last year.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
A heck of a job restacking everybody and getting new coaches and new players, and they did a really good job of keeping it going. Because I thought after last year, I said this could easily be a disaster, and they're done. And they're right there now, so good for them.
And that goes back to your point as well with getting a new GM in here as well, and he's been around the league and has made some savvy moves. That we didn't think we could get rid of a Horford or type of thing, and he was able to make the moves and do what he had to do to, and now has a team around these guys that if they get shut down one day, you're going to have Steph Curry going to score points, or
Right.
Green's going to be able to score, Tobias is going to be able to score, and or Howard's going to be able to come in and do something, and it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. It's just not shut down Simmons or shut down Embiid because Simmons is going to shoot, and that's the biggest plus of this. You have the other shooters around him that you really don't need Ben Simmons to shoot, like Doc Rivers is saying. I mean, it's only a bonus if he does, but and hopefully maybe there's less pressure on him, that maybe he throughout the season maybe he does start to shoot the ball a little bit more, and then you'll have a real lethal weapon, but if not, you still have a, like you said, triple double. you still got a pretty dangerous weapon right there as well.
So speaking of savvy moves, it's 7:00. So let's talk Phillies.
Clap your hands for the Sixers. Come on.
Right.
Come on. 7-1. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is.
I let you go 2 minutes over on the Sixers because
That's the most basketball
doing
talk
well.
we've had all year, and that
That's-
included last year.
Well, that's good.
they're
That's all we
doing
want
well. So we'll let them. We gave him an extra 2 minutes. It's more than we ever gave him. So
All right, Warden.
so Phillies, what's going on with them?
Nothing.
Not much. They got who did they pick up? Some reliever or something this past week? Other than that, I don't remember very much.
Yeah, they just made some minor moves just for bullpen guys or arms that are in the system for spring training, and taking a flyer on them, hoping that you hit gold with them.
Spring training's still on target for March, or did they move it forward?
And it's on target for March, but they haven't sold any tickets, and I don't know what the plan is there. I mean, you look at Florida and you see, like, when the Sixers were playing the Magic the other day, they had people sitting inside at that arena. So I would imagine they could sell 2,000 tickets, whatever it might be for spring training, but that price might be, $700 per ticket. Who knows?
Right.
And then it's like, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to actually allow fans in it or not. Is it worth it for that? I mean, they're obviously after the money and they're going to lose a lot, like they did it by not having the whole end of last year spring training. I don't know if they'll do it or not, and I don't know when they're going to make that announcement. I mean, it's January. People have to make plans too, so
right.
I don't know what to do.
The Clearwater Thrashers, who we all know control, the Phillies down there, they're telling their season ticket holders that they're going to be 25% of the stadium, of the facility. So I gotta think them tickets are going to be in demand. As far as,
do they sell 25% of their stadium when they have regular games?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, all those premium games that they have,
Right.
when the Red Sox come in, when the Yankees come in.
I think Mario's asking about
during the regular season.
for Clearwater.
Oh, for the Thrashers? No.
Right. I mean,
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. No, I'm talking spring training where you've got.
I know spring training. You know that.
Yeah.
no, it's probably 112 degrees, and you probably got the same 500 people there.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have a
Yeah.
problem doing social distancing there.
So,
So
Anthony, I don't know if you'll know this or not, but do they sell season tickets then just for spring training and then season for the Thrashers?
Yes.
really?
Whole bundle.
I don't know that you have. First of all, I don't know that you have to get the whole bundle, but I don't know if they sell spring training season ticket. I mean, they might, but they definitely sell the Thrashers. I don't know if you have both. Now, the Thrashers season ticket holders might get first dibs,
Right.
or the Phillies. That's where it'll be interesting. If the Phillies have their own season ticket holders, would they get a chance to buy tickets first? Because
Yes,
then
they do.
then guess what? Then there's there's not enough tickets because it's only 2,000, 2,500 tickets. Or
Right.
the Thrashers, they should, those 500 season ticket holders, whatever it is, they should get the opportunity. So this,
My knowledge is that the Thrashers control the spring training tickets.
Right.
There's no separating.
yeah, and that might change for this year. Whatever it is, the tickets are going to be on secondary market for.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. But I know, like when I used to have Philly season tickets, we always got a chance to buy spring training tickets, I think a week or two before they went on sale or something like that.
Yep.
So we did get a little bit of an edge, but my guess is that the Threshers season ticket holders got to buy it before that.
Mm-hmm.
So
It'll be interesting too. Florida's a different animal than a lot of these other states. So, for example, St. Patrick's Day, if it's 25% capacity, they still want to make some of that beer money. So are they going to have like a sectioned off section that doesn't consider itself part of the stadium that's closer to the bar? I mean, they're going to do everything they can to make as much money as they can and try to figure out to theoretically do it in a safe way. So these promotional things, I mean, if you only have 2,500 people there, does it really even make sense to do that? Unless you're going to have a bar or have different pods that are considered separate areas of the stadium. I mean, they're going to try to probably be creative when it comes to it. I think today they're just trying to figure out whether they can even do it in the first place.
yeah. So
Segue into minor league baseball real quick, Anthony. Have you heard anything about AA and the other single A, double A? I mean, as far as when I know they're going to try to keep everybody distanced.
They sort of announced yesterday that what I had mentioned, that the Major League and AAA guys will play at the same time.
Right.
And AA and single A guys would go after that. So, if the Major League Baseball season, let's say, starts at the end of April, maybe we would start the end of May. Let's pretend. But there's been rumors that could go all the way over to, beginning of October. Let's say October 3rd, October 4th. Because they want to give the minor league guys the same amount of games.
Right.
But if COVID doesn't allow that, they have to keep pushing it back. So it sounds like we'll have the full season. It just might be pushed back a little bit. I'm okay with.
So will you be at the wedding or will you have a game that?
Yeah, we didn't.
Just wondering.
So
Do
tomorrow.
you have a sponsor that day?
So yeah,
He'll have a stand-in for the wedding.
At the wedding, he'll have a stand-in, not at the game.
Right. Yeah, at the wedding. At the wedding.
The problem with that is
We'll do the vows virtually.
that it would seriously make the amount of people at the wedding go down dramatically, I would imagine, if we had a game that day. Hopefully we're off on October 3rd.
It's the 2nd, just an FYI.
All right, the 2nd. But no, I
don't want you to be late.
He already is.
I'm there on the 3rd. Well, where is everybody?
we just found that out today that it could go, later into beginning of October. But I think a lot of the teams have meetings. Eastern League doesn't put out the schedule anymore. The Major League Baseball said they're going to do that. So I think our team and other teams are getting on a call with Major League Baseball officials, and there will be some guys. We can probably give our feedback of what we think we want to happen, but ultimately they're the ones that make that schedule. And like anything else, like the Major League Baseball schedule, it's all theoretical until they figure out what's going on with the virus. I mean, it'll be interesting to see in baseball in general, what they do. Like right now, for example, for the Sixers, there's no one at their games, but if you're in Florida, there's people at their games.
right.
It doesn't sound like Major League Baseball wants that to happen. The owners aren't very keen on that happening. They want like fans there in order to play. So it's not really fair if Tampa and Miami have fans, if Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and New York and Boston can't have fans. So that's something they're trying to overcome. And I don't know how they do that other than it actually happening, with vaccines and stuff like that. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens. It does feel like they're a little bit behind compared to the other sports, shockingly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Sean says that Vivid Seats is selling spring training tickets for $33 for general admission.
That's about what they normally sell for.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
that's not secondary market. That's what they come, that's the cost of them, on game day if you buy from the Thrashers.
Right, but secondary market would be me buying them for $33 and putting them for $66 on StubHub.
Right.
So
I guess the only thing you would, not that it's a lot of money, but the only thing I'd be slightly careful with is, normally I would say, hey, buy as many as you could, so you get them at $30 before they go up. But if it ends up being like a Ticketmaster situation where they say, we're not giving you your money back, you're going to get credit, and you have $3,000 worth of Vivid Seats credit, I don't know what you're doing with that. That's the one thing.
Good point.
right.
Good point.
So all right. Now with that being said, I'm going to flip-flop these, and we're going to go Flyers first.
Oh, all right.
Carl?
Sunday night was really nothing to talk about, so we're going to talk about Flyers first, and then we'll go to that other stuff.
Well,
So-
we're a week away from dropping the puck here in Philadelphia, right?
Yep.
Couldn't be happier. Wish I could be in the building.
Yeah.
Speaking about fans, no fans,
So they're not having fans at all.
not in Philly, because here we go again.
Yeah.
Each state controls.
Yeah.
All of that. What did they say for the Super Bowl, for not to jump out of hockey, because I'm taking away my time. But Super Bowl, right? They said maybe 25,000,
Right.
Wow.
for Robert James Stadium in Tampa.
Right.
But yeah, let's get back to the Flyers. So, it's, they were red hot, when the season was put on pause. They were, one of the hottest teams in hockey. I was so sad to see that, because the expectations were really high. They were playing really, really well. They didn't meet expectations in the playoffs. They just weren't able to regain that fast start that they were during the regular season. They're pretty much the same team. They lost a couple of guys. I guess the main guy is defenseman Matt Niskanen, who was a first line defenseman. So that's a pretty important piece to try to replace. But the Flyers are loaded. There's a ton of youth there. You got a couple of Oscar Lindblom's coming back. Kudos to him, right? A year later, from his cancer battle. Nolan Patrick, he's been gone for almost 2 years,
Right.
With his migraine headaches and whatnot. So, you're getting a couple of really nice pieces back. Plus, there's no doubt that Carter Hart is the number one goaltender. There's no more, he may play tonight. No, he's going to play every night.
Yeah, he's too young. You gotta wait.
Yeah, we heard you talk about the process with the Sixers. Well, the process is here with the Flyers as well.
Right.
And it took a lot, to get to this point. They had to fire their whole regime, right? They had to clean house. And these are all Hextall's guys. He drafted all these guys. They're all his guys, all his players that he brought in. Except for a couple of the more recent trades or free agent signings. But yeah, Flyers hockey, to go along with Sixer basketball. Who needs football and baseball?
But like I said, and the two Flyers, Cam York and Bobby Brink,
Yeah,
won
how about that?
USA Juniors.
Who saw that coming last night?
Yeah.
Who saw Team Canada getting shut out 2-0?
Wow.
Right.
I don't think two. I know I didn't, and I'm I'm rooting for the home guys, but they put a whooping on them, 2-0.
Yep.
That's awesome, and it just goes to show you what the Team USA program, has meant to hockey now. It's not all about Canada now. It's not all about overseas.
Right.
The USA program has really developed, and got a lot of good players coming out of there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
So-
Plus you got-
Carl, you pissed off my mom. She needs baseball.
Oh, I need it too, but but if you're giving me Sixer basketball and Flyers hockey and
Right.
they're both going to be in the playoffs and I'm not going to have to like worry about different things,
True.
like we are with the Phillies. We're we don't know where we're at. We don't know who
Correct.
we don't know who our catcher's going to be. We don't know who our bullpen's going to be. Like John's been saying for so long. Clean house, clean house, start over.
Right.
The Sixers did it. The Flyers did it. You know what I mean? Clean house. If that's what it takes, that's what you need to do. But yeah, Flyers hockey, Monday, what is it? Monday night, right? The 13th.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, didn't they just announced today that there's going to be an exhibition game, Orange versus Black, on the 10th?
Oh, did they? I missed that. Okay.
Yeah,
Where's that at?
In
Did they
Philly,
say?
because it's just a scrimmage against each other.
Gotcha. Okay.
They're going to televise it, I guess, and it's just
Oh.
kind of like a little preseason, so to speak.
Nice. Yeah, because there really is no preseason games. They're jumping right into it, wholehearted with, Crosby and the crew from Pittsburgh.
Right.
And
And then what's this outdoor game that they're playing in February?
yeah, Lake Tahoe, right? Lake Tahoe.
wow.
There's going to be a number of teams up there.
Oh,
I
cool.
want to say a half dozen.
Wow.
And it's on a golf course, right? The
Yes.
golf
Yep.
course. Yeah.
Yep.
Very
Should
cool.
be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Should be interesting.
Well, I think it's just really interesting to hear, I guess more so on the baseball side, that so many of the owners are, they're losing money because they don't have fans and all that kind of stuff. But yet the NHL is going to put out the expense of making rinks on golf courses. Really, I mean, there's not going to be any fans. There's not going to be anybody there. It's in the middle of a golf course.
Right.
It makes for good TV, and I guess they think that the TV ratings will make all the money that they need to make these rinks.
Let me tap into our general manager because basketball has sponsorship on their jerseys.
Yep.
Correct?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Hockey is now doing the same thing. They're
And the
going to
helmet.
have helmets, jerseys. So they're getting big dollars from TV revenue to broadcast, all these different companies that are now jumping on board. It won't be long before baseball and football do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Won't be long.
No doubt.
Won't be long.
They're gonna find a way to make money.
Well, you have to.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to continue to pay these players this type of money, these types of contracts, and hockey's been, one of the sports that's been kept relatively low. I forget what's their cap number, 68 mil, 70 mil.
Wow.
I mean, it's in comparison, it's nothing. You know what I mean? You look at it and you're like, wow, but yeah, so hockey's going to look a little different this year. You're going to have the the sponsorships, and you're going to have a whole lot of advertising going on.
Right.
So,
It's just funny how baseball, makes it like known that they lost X amount of billions of dollars, they claim, and sports can continue for a second year with no fans. You know what I mean? It's just
right.
it just kind of shows you where they are in comparison. It's very frustrating at times.
No.
Yep.
And
For
look at
sure.
the money. Look at the money the basketball's throwing around with contracts. They get players for this year.
Yep.
So,
True.
Yep. For sure.
All right. So that brings us to Eagles.
I got a funny feeling that I got shorted on my Flyers time.
Now
You
you
know what I
did.
mean? I'm throwing a challenge flag. No, I didn't.
Now you did.
No.
It's exactly
So-
7:20, Carl.
So I will start off the Eagles talk by just saying one thing.
Okay.
I never want my Philadelphia team to lose on purpose or tank or do any of that. I was never a fan of that with the Sixers. I'm not a fan of that with the Eagles, whatever that was Sunday night. But I will say if there was one team in this division that had to win, I am happy that it was Washington because of the shit they had to go through this year when they changed their name and all that. You know, everybody was all up in arms about that. And the story about Alex Smith, because there isn't a person, a football fan, that can't get behind that guy's story and all that he's been through, and that he was able to get this team to the playoffs. Granted, he got the team to the playoffs. The rest of the teams suck. But nonetheless, if a team had to go, I'm happy it was Washington.
And to add that, you got Ron Rivera as well as another
Right.
good story.
Exactly.
Washington. Yeah,
Yes.
so.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, nobody wants the Cowboys to go. You never want that to happen. The Giants, they just won a Super Bowl not too long ago, and they're the Giants. So Washington was a good choice. I'm happy that they won, and I guess I'm happy that we lost then.
I think it's funny that they're blaming us for not getting into the playoffs. Win your own games. Then you don't have to worry about what we do.
Yeah, one of my coworkers grew up in Connecticut. He's a big Giants fan, and I asked him that next morning, what he thought, and he said, "Hey, it's our own fault. All we had to do was win another game at some point. If we won a couple more games, we wouldn't have to worry about it." So he said, "I'm not upset at all. It is what it is."
But I did see a funny meme of Jason Garrett in his Giants shirt that said, "Still keeping the Cowboys out of the playoffs." And that was great.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
That was classic.
Yeah, so
Yep.
nobody should get into the playoffs with a 7-9 record.
No, I mean, it's,
That's
is what it is,
ridiculous.
but, I'm happy for Washington.
it would
Right.
be a team like that go far. You know what I mean? Let's pretend to get on the
Right.
Right.
street. Once you're in, anything could happen. But
And they're playing the Bucks, right?
The Bucks, yeah.
Yeah. So they'll lose in the first round.
yeah,
Yeah, but-
it probably won't happen, but it would be a neat thing. Hopefully they get a name by next year too, because that's getting a little
Well, they're a football team.
I just hope they keep it.
so silly.
Yeah. But every team that's been under 500 that made it to the playoffs has won. So, everybody, I think it's
Until
3
now.
teams now. Well, I don't know about that. I mean,
You-
their
you
offense,
think
their
they're
offense
gonna
is pretty
beat Brady?
terrible. Well, that defense is pretty good in Washington, and that's the one thing. If you're going to beat Brady, you got to put pressure on Brady, as the Giants have shown in the Super Bowls, that they have the ability as far as the defense. I don't know if the offense is going to be there for Washington to be able to score enough, because they were just pathetic.
EAGLES Eagles. What did I fall asleep on this segment?
No,
Huh?
not at all. We just ended up going into the playoffs. But I mean,
Kudos to Washington. Kudos to Tampa. Our
nobody said kudos to Tampa.
Our Eagles shit the bed.
Well, they
Well,
did.
yeah.
They have. So do we deserve to talk about that? Or do they deserve us to talk about them for 10 minutes?
Well, probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. But we kicked them around all year. You know what I mean? All
Deservingly.
year. The bottom line is, right? We talked about it all year, that the last game of the season between the Eagles and Washington was going to let you know who won the division.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
We did.
Am I right? We talked about this all year. That's
Yep.
how bad this division is.
Right.
Well,
It's hard.
How mad do you think other teams in the league must be when they look at this division? Who was it one of the games we were watching, but they had like a 10-4 record and they weren't going to the playoffs. And
Yeah.
here the Giants are
Yeah,
with a losing record, or I'm sorry, Washington with a losing record, and they're going.
they won the division.
It has to be
Yeah, sure.
infuriating to be a better football team than these 4 and to still not make the playoffs.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't disagree. I mean, I look at the money.
How did it get so bad? When did it get so bad?
It's been
Well,
a while,
here-
hasn't it?
Here's the touchy subject for especially the Eastern Division. It all comes down to the quarterback. And all of those teams suffered through miserable seasons because of quarterbacks.
Right.
all of them. You know, the Giants ended up losing their quarterback,
Jones.
for what, 3 games, John? 4
Yeah.
games?
Daniel Jones, yeah, with his hamstring.
Washington, I mean, they cut that kid the week before. They cut him. They cut their starting quarterback the week before, right? They forced Alex Smith onto the field. That poor guy, I mean, his leg was already shattered. And they forced him out there, right?
Yeah, it was so bad they weren't even sure if he was going to be alive because with the injury. I mean, that's how bad it was with the infections. I think that he gotten with some surgeries and stuff. That
in Dallas, I mean,
Right.
they went with a guy we never even heard of. That they, I don't know.
DiNucci.
I mean, it's just a quarterback-driven league. We all know that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this division, I mean, they were down to some of those teams. What did Washington play? 4 different quarterbacks this year?
4 quarterbacks, yeah.
I think Dallas, same thing. When
DiNucci and
DiNucci and Dalton got hurt,
Right.
they were, it's crazy.
we were the only team that didn't have a quarterback problem, injury wise.
Right.
So.
You know what I mean? And then we all of a sudden, we got the biggest quarterback controversy in the world. You know what I mean? It's just, I mean, this, to end the show on this, I hate to do it, but this can only happen in Philadelphia.
True.
Right? I mean, this sort of thing can only happen in Philly.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Where you got a franchise quarterback that you paid all this money to, right? Good, bad, or indifferent.
So, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but who do you think our quarterback is next year?
I don't know. I love the new word, fractured. I love that new word. Where did that come from?
Fractured relationship? I've heard that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
I've heard that before.
That's the 2021 word, like
Yeah,
20 with
fractured.
mask and social distance and that sort of thing. Fractured is becoming the 2021 word. Well, my Wentz feelings aside, if you're Carson Wentz, I don't know how you come back to this team.
No, positively not.
I don't know how you come back to it. I don't know. I mean, it seems bad to the public. I can't even imagine how bad it must be behind closed doors.
Right.
Yep, excellent point. I mean, yeah.
I don't know how you come back. He obviously doesn't want to be here. Whatever the fracture is between the two of them was apparent all season because Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz were never on the same page. I don't even know if they were in the same book. And now, I would love to know what happened though.
Right.
He didn't play good. If you played well, then there'd be no fracturing.
But
I don't think that was it either, though.
Played better. If he had won all these games, there'd be it'd be never a discussion.
But what puts him above Doug Peterson? Why does Carson have to play better to avoid a controversy with your boss? I mean, if I screw up with my boss, we talk about it, we work through it, and we work to be better.
Right.
It seemed like they never clicked. They never were on the same page. And I don't know if that's because they had to work closer together now because all of Doug's assistant coaches were gone. And, that was sort of what he was left to work with. But they just seemed like a stepbrother and a stepsister, like forced into a family together that had no interest in, they didn't mean this for this family. And here they are stuck together.
Well, I don't think it was always like that. I think I think they were okay in the beginning, and then something happened to pull them apart.
You'll never know.
Right. That's it right there. We're never going to find out.
You'll never know. Carson will go a separate way, and in true Philly fashion, he'll go somewhere. He'll win a Super Bowl in a couple years, and you'll never hear the end of it.
No.
So with that, I'm going to say, John, you can do takeaways first. We'll start with you.
Start with me today. All right. Well, we were going to go with get your fantasy football votes in for the playoffs. That's growing, and keep that going, and hopefully we're going to look forward to the Sixers and the Flyers carrying us through the next few months here to make 2021 start off in a better note than 2020 has, and that's what we got to look forward to.
All right. Anthony, you're next.
I don't have too much. Visit Carl's Cards new website. It's up and running.
Ooh,
Pretty good.
it is. It is
All
up
right.
You can purchase right from the website. It's got all the latest gear.
all the latest gear. It has no gear.
No gear. all the latest. I don't know stuff.
Memorabilia.
Memorabilia.
There you go.
You're really doing a good job selling it.
There you go. All right, Lauren, you're up.
Tomorrow is National Bobblehead Day. That was brought to my attention earlier today. So, Dad, I'm going to need some bobblehead photos that you have saved up on your phone there for a post for tomorrow. So, National Bobblehead Day.
Happy
All right.
National Bobblehead Day.
There you
Yep.
go.
How about that?
You're
How
up.
about that? So this is kind of personal. And it really leads itself to what we were just talking about with the website at Carl's Cards, because the only gal that I know who can pull all this together, and she goes by the Jane of all trades. You know, I don't know where you find all this time, all this energy, all this.
Are you talking about Mom?
No. I can't, most days I can't wake her up. Now I'm talking about you. I mean, the website's phenomenal. You know, as bad as 2020 was for just about everybody in the world, we had a phenomenal year at Carl's Cards, business-wise. You know, you anchored the social media pages and got people in the store to follow us. The new website is up and running. I hope to have gear on it. But right now we got a lot of other stuff, about 3,000 items.
Nice.
But I don't know where you find all this time. But kudos to you. You know, I don't know what you're doing in the middle of the night, but maybe try a little sleep. You know, it's been phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to 21 in a number of ways for all of us to be able to, you know, just get back together. But you know, we've done so much with so little. You know, because we pressed into some hard times. But we always find time to come together every Wednesday night at 6:30. So thanks to all of you again. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy and healthy. And I'll throw it back to, I guess, Mario, you're closing. You're our closer.
I am the closer. Yeah. I'm going to keep it short and brief and say Happy New Year. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
Thank you.
Peace.
See you guys.